man. So when your car gonna be done? That's what I want to know.
It should be done by sometime this week, man.
You got to buy a whole new carburetor.
Nah, hell yeah.
Carburetor.
I got people to come out for the diagnostics, but I'm gonna do change the rotator
about
cap and all of that stuff. These mechanics, man, they be acting like mythical geniuses. Everything is a price. They don't want to really tell you what it is, but I can show you.
A tune-up. A tune-up is not going to be. That's not a part of the starter of it starting up, is it?
No, it's not. But it's not the starter. The starter was fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's something else. It's something else. I'm not sure. It's not.
Well, usually when a car ain't starting, it's a starter. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not that it's not starting.
It could be the fuel pump.
It could be the fuel pump. Yeah, it's not turning over. It's not turning over.
I've had it where there's something. Well, that's a foreign car though.
Spark plug.
Well, no, there's like a sensor that's on that runs your transmission to the ignition or whatever that basically goes out, and it could be just that switch or whatever. Yeah. It's crazy stuff like that. But I don't know, what year is your car?
It's old.
I mean, I know that. You know what? You too embarrassed to say.
I put my year car out. Don't do me like that, Phil. Right. We not gonna do that.
Sound like every time you try to put me on.
You see that, no, right?
You see how you try to do me? You see how you try to do me? No, we ain't gonna do that.
All right, man. Let's step in, man. Let's get everybody in the house. Let's get y'all in here, y'all. So we're about to get it started in a second. Indeed. Set up paid online event. Oh no, that's not it. Okay. You ready, man?
Man, listen, man. Is you ready, man?
Who we got? Her Sneaker Vault? What's that? Sneaker Vault? Who's that? Who's that, Miss Her Sneaker Vault? I like that name. Here we go.
Yeah, that's
my friends are brilliant.
She said I'm loud.
Who is that?
Yeah, that's a friend of ours. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Click on that. Let me see that. What they say. My friends are brilliant and amazing people. They make me better every day. Okay, we're about to see. We're about to see if you're gonna feel good when we get through with this. Right. I know you are. That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate you for joining in. All right, man. We gotta go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's do it. Did I get some feedback? Nobody volume is up, is it? Is it the intro?
All our illusions will disapparate, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We say no.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace. I love y'all.
Hey, that's a really good intro, bro. Hey, that's a really good intro, bro. I swear it is. I'm sorry.
All right, that's what's up. Welcome to Reasons, guys, where you guys can actually tell us what you think about the reasons. Man, you threw me off, fat boy.
I threw you off. My fault.
Will you tell us what you think about what we're talking about today? All right. We got a special show to you guys again, and this is part two. Our guest.
And who are you?
Huh?
And who are you? Tell the people.
Oh, I'm Fuel, man.
All right, it's Fat Boy the Builder. You already know what time we on.
Jesus Christ! And if you guys are wondering, where Fat Boy is, where you at, for? I mean, I know that's a green screen behind the jail cell, but where you at?
Man, they didn't got me, man. They didn't got me, Fuel. I scrambled up a computer in here, and no, y'all, I'm at home. I'm having some car difficulties, in my old
That's why
ass
you guys
car
got
right now.
that split screen. You know what I'm saying? Because we still,
But we here.
we're still gonna make it happen.
We're gonna work
But,
regardless.
we could be on the other side of the daggone state. You know what I mean? But that's what's up. Also, so we're talking about a few things today, man. Of course, we got to get into the whole thing about Kanye before anything. We got to get that out the way. And I hopefully, to be honest with you, I want this to be our last time to talking about him. You know what I mean? Because I think it really needs, help and stuff like that. But we're gonna get into that too. But then we're also talking about emotional intelligence, and it also ties in with our guest, part 2, the 1 and 2. I was gonna say 1 and only, but the 1 and the 2 only. Melissa and Wayne, y'all is here with Shades of Non-Monogamy. I can't talk today, dog. Something's wrong with my daggone.
Non-monogamy.
I know, right? Something's wrong with me, man. Go ahead. That's what's up. And then, in case you guys wondering too, we got new camera assistance going on right now. So if it gets jumping a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Excuse that girl, because she's on the one.
She new right now.
She's on the one. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna work it out though.
Yes. Okay. So before we let's get started about the Kanye, man. And then we're gonna have Melissa and Wayne key in on the conversations today, you guys, because like I said, the whole thing with emotional intelligence has a lot to do with non-monogamy as well. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have them key in on that as well. So if you guys got any questions, anything like that, don't be afraid to hit us up on on Facebook.
For sure.
Ask questions, and we will read them live here on the show. You know what I mean? Conversate with you and all that. You know what I'm saying? So in the chat, you guys, in the chat. We got say what's up to Daisy. Daisy in the house. Ain't see you in a minute.
Hey,
Daisy. What's up? Yeah, appreciate you. Nick is in the house. And
Nick,
like I said earlier, what is it? Hold on, I seen her name on here. Is it Strong Black Queen?
Okay, Carletta in the building.
Yeah, that's what's up. You know what I mean? So yeah, that shit on Facebook. Get on YouTube so we can get paid.
Real.
We try to make some money, dog. You know what I'm saying? Crown Printing is in the house. That's
Carletta.
Yeah. Drew's in the house. What's up,
Fish?
Man, you know what, man? I love our loyal listeners, man. And
I do too, man.
I love them, man, because you know what I mean. Without them, dog, we wouldn't probably be still doing this. We'd be looking and talking to each other across from the daggone table.
For real. And I still enjoy doing too, Phil. Shit.
I know, right? Sometimes you gotta talk to somebody.
Sometimes you gotta talk to somebody.
Earl Alexander's in the house. What's up, man? All right, man.
What's up, Earl?
I know you guys, everyone has an opinion about Kanye, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I can start off by saying that, for one, there's some truth.
And a lot of the shit he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Let's get that part clear first. You know what I mean? I don't understand that everybody, think that how his illness and all this stuff has got him going off the ticker and stuff like that. But there's some truth, and you're seeing it proved. The first thing when someone's telling the truth about you is they try to shut you up.
Yep.
And that's basically what has been going on. They're doing whatever they can shut you up. You know what I mean? Luckily, the smart thing about Kanye to me is that he ain't got to worry about nothing, financially, and for his whole life. Even if you take half of, I think they said 500 or 400 million or whatever the case may be, when he was worth $1 billion. You know what I mean?
6.
Was it 6?
Yeah.
You have 6. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying he's still comfortable. You know what I mean? And everybody can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody can't do that. You know what I mean? And he put himself in a position to say the things that he said or whatever to, maybe even get rid of some of these people. You know what I mean? But I want to just kind of give you guys an example, because I've also read it, and when I seen this, I was like, man, that is so true. That is so real. And I found it on the internet, of course. It says, we don't have to agree with some of these views and ideals, but we need to protect him at all costs. Whenever a black man has complete ownership of his very lucrative intellectual property, he ends up dead, right? Mm-hmm. Biggie was about to get out of his deal. dead. Pop was about to get out of his deal, dead. Who's that? Michael Jackson, yeah, was about to get out here, wouldn't sell his ownership or stake for Sony at ATV Publishing, dead. Prince got ownership of his master, dead. Everyone thinks Kanye needs to be canceled. No, he needs to be protected. He should stop with the racism, and that's the truth. You know what I mean? But he's doing what he's doing, I guess, just for that attention. That's a whole other thing. We can get into that later. But yes, he should stop the whole racism and everything, whatever. But like Tyler Perry, you know what I'm saying, they even tried to burn, his studio and stuff down. You know what I mean? Because of success. And so when I seen it, I was kind of like, man, that is so true. And these are things that we see already as a people. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to go off of, not just what the media put out there, what the media says, or whatever's trending. Oh, he's just off the right. Because that's what they want you to do. But just go with the facts. You know what I'm saying? And when you're talking about the deaths of these people and why they're dead and what position they were in, that's facts. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So that's
Absolutely.
what that's the only thing that bothered me about this whole thing. Not the fact of that he might need help in other situations or whatever the case may be. Fine. But these are facts, and they brought the truth on, just like Ray J brought on about the Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? He has facts. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to start looking at, and as a unit, as a people, you know what I'm saying? See what these facts are, whatever. Because when something happened, it's going to be like, oh, he did this and he fought for that, and then, and then all the glory and the flowers come. But yet, while he's here right now, no one's actually coming to his rescue or coming to his side. Say like Farrakhan has. Farrakhan has, mentioned some things or whatever, and he's went back in the biblical history and everything or whatever of facts, and that's basically what they do. You know what I mean? So that part is what bothers me the most, whatever. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Go ahead.
I kind of right. We talked about it a little bit last week, right? We talked about how maybe Kanye is not as crazy as they're trying to make him seem.
Right.
Maybe Kanye is telling too much truth, and they need to keep everybody in the fog and in this illusion that all of these things exist, but they really don't. But they don't want you to know that it is a big part of the Jewish community that is controlling distribution and entertainment and all of the things and manipulating a lot of the things here. If it's not that, it's the LGBTQ. That's okay. I'm not saying anything wrong, but I'm just saying that is a fact, right? So maybe that they're painting him out to be a certain character so they can get away with what they're doing. As far as them taking what all of the stuff all of the deals and all of that off the table, like you said, Fuel, he has enough money to be able to do that. What I love about it is the fact that he's strong enough to stand on to stand on business, as we say where I come from. You get me? He's standing on what he said. He ain't backed up nothing he said. But it goes to show you, right, that when he was saying all of this crazy stuff about the George Floyd and all of these things, that was cool. But as soon as he started talking about the Jews and how they manipulating the game, now let's cancel Kanye because everything he says is anti-Semitic and blase. First off, I can't be anti-Semitic because, like he said, I am Semitic. I am from the original tribe of Judah as well. You feel me? Because there are 12 tribes of that. So when you get to start breaking down biblical and start busting it all the way down, ain't nothing he said was wrong. But a lot of times our people, they attack our emotions, right? The same thing when we was talking about the Black Lives Matter, they used it to attack our emotion. They know how we feel about Black Lives Matter. They know we'll kill somebody about Black Lives Matter. But when we really find out and it all come out in the wash like it has, that it was all manipulation of the culture and they were stealing money and they were buying property and they're in the feds currently, right? We have to listen to what he's saying and sometimes not kill a messenger. But I know Melissa and Wayne got some real cold shit.
But read more into it and not really pay a whole lot to the tactics that he basically had to do or go through to do it. You know what I'm saying? Some of those things you can, not to say ignore it, but still dig deeper into what's really going on.
Pay attention to
right
the
now.
truth.
Something is really
It's going on. It's
If
going on.
if we put all this shit aside because whatever, something
Something's
is
going
really
on.
going on.
Facts.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm saying?
fact, Phil.
You have even I think Russell Simmons or Russ, yeah, he basically, you know, these are people, the ones that are how can I put it? They're trying to, you know, say, you know, that he should be, you know, he apologize or excuse his behavior and everything like that, or some of those that are actually still in this situation, you know. And I don't want to get too much or deeper because I don't want to get taken off. You know what I'm saying? Next time we come to YouTube, they be like, "Oh, your account is no good." You know what I mean? But yeah, let's tap in. Let's see what Melissa and Wayne think about. What you guys think? I know Wayne got some on his mind. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say that you know, it's real hard to be labeled crazy when you made multi billions of dollars. You know, like
couldn't be crazy to get that
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, I like what Farrakhan said about, you know, just in the fact that, you know, a lot of times when these things happen, we need to rally together. This is when we come together because we understand, we know what the situation is. We know what world we live in. We don't have to speak these things out loud because we just know them. You know, they exist. You know, I was listening to this interview today from Professor James Smalls. Mm-hmm. He was talking about how he spoke to Tupac right before his passing. He said that Tupac had said that the whole Biggie and Tupac thing was kind of created and that they had actually wanted to start a distribution company.
Right.
You know, we know what, if they start a distribution company, what happens to Universal and Sony and all those companies. So they can't happen.
We're gonna get all the business.
Right. You know, and yeah. And so Kanye has said many things, right? But they have never taken them off the air until like he said, is that, you know, once he started saying anti-Semitic things, he got pulled off, you know, which is, again, to his point. Right. It's to his point, you know.
What he was saying, absolutely, Wayne.
You know, and so once that happened, it just proved that what he was saying had some merit to it.
Exactly.
You know, and I love the fact that, because that won't happen. They're not going to take all those entertainment contracts and go through them line by line on television live. Because, you know, I watched the interview the other day with a comedian there. He said that the way he was able to get out of his contract, you know, is because he had somebody pull him to the side and say, "Hey, you need to audit your contracts." Mm-hmm. When he audited his contract, he saw that he was missing $600,000, and so he said that he went to Universal and was like, "Hey, if you don't let me on my contract, I'm gonna tell all the artists on the label they need to audit their contracts." Right. They let him out his deal immediately. Right. So again, you know, we know what it is.
Exactly.
So, you know,
exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of $600 million, didn't Tyler Perry lose $600 million through his accountant and had to fire his whole accounting team? I think I heard something like that too. I don't know if it was black or white. I don't know.
Look, I'm sure it was the same people who because everybody used the same people. He didn't bring in people he knew who he was coming. It was like, hey, you should use this person. You know, because that's the way the industry works. You know, like, hey, my friend over there does headshots, and my friend over there, you can shoot at his studio. So it's all they're sharing all their money. Right. You know, and then they overcharging the artists. You know, like which we know what happens. Right. You know? Like their friend owns the venue that you got to perform at. So everybody making money off of you. You're not making the money. You know?
Yeah. Yep. That's true. That. Anything in there that Melissa? Anything? No.
she stay away from these.
I know, right? But let's see what the chat. What we got in the chat? What we got? We got a lot of people talking up in here. Earl says, "Oh, wait a minute, go up further. Let's go further, man." Okay. Oh, he said, "Life, baby." Nick said he got. Go ahead. No, next. No, you was right. Where you was. Right there. Yeah. Nick said he got enough money. It don't matter what he do. It still matters. You know, I think it still matters what he does and how he his tactics and his way of going about doing it. You know, because for one, you know, I ain't gonna lie, it can get you killed. You know what I'm saying? Two, that's one. Two, you have younger generations that's watching you, that follows you, that you know what I'm saying? So it does matter basically what he does. You know what I mean? So yeah, so with that, I disagree, Nick. It does matter to me. You know, that's my opinion though. You know what I mean? Earl, go to the next. He tells a lot of truth and the facts that he has the balls to say it. Yeah. And yes, that's true.
Yep.
Shell said he's not crazy. He is the no.
He's in the know.
He's the no. Oh, okay. I said he is the no. I'm such today. Anyway, he's in the know. Okay, I got you, Shell. I got you, Shell. We get the Earl said racism. Racism, bro. Come on. How can a black man tell his truth and it not be a racial element? And bro, when our culture has under attack and still is, when our culture is under attack and still is, they weren't called out for racist. Dude is real and it's scary for mofos.
I agree.
You know, that's a good point, Earl.
I agree.
That and I agree as well. You know, and I can honestly tell you guys that I seriously was one of those that kind of thought like, man, Kanye just tripped off the chain. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, you know, he's bipolar, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I took in some of that BS. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, that they were talking and stuff like that up until now. Yeah. You know, and when you show me facts and proofs of something happening or whatever, oh yeah, I'm
just think about it. Just think of the music that's on the air, right? And how it talks about killing us and all. Yeah. And at no time has that music ever been taken off the air. Nope. You can never put a song out about killing
anybody.
Exactly. And it be sold so much, and there'd be so many artists out there doing it. You just won't see it. It only happens within the black community, you know. And now other artists who aren't even black are able to make songs killing our community, you know. Mm-hmm. And so again, if it was about racism, then all that music would have been pulled off. So that's again to the point that it's not about racism, because that music still exists. It's out there on the radio every day. Like you said, you look at the top 3 songs today in the hip hop community, it's all about, I'm guaranteed, it's drug selling, drug using, killing, or having sex with somebody's wife.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what Kanye is saying, right? He's saying that these labels are purposely doing that, Wayne, right? He's saying that that's why he's calling them out on their BS, that they're purposely perpetuating this style of music, right? This type of violence, this type of drug use, because they're trying to perpetuate systemic racism and push that line of, hey, go get a gun, do these things. And then, like you said, which was a great point, right? They've even allowed other cultures, right? We just had a mix up to the point it's gotten so bad that they created the AI rapper, right? And they had to take him down because of what he was talking about and how he was exploiting the culture and all of these things, right? Because this is what they have allowed to perpetuate. And so here it is this black man say, hey, tighten up on that. This is what they doing. Y'all need to realize the reason why they got these people in place, because they gatekeeper and they selling lies. And when he say that, all shit break loose, or all hell break loose. So I'm starting to really, I had already been on the fence because I know he wasn't crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know he got a little issues, but I know he ain't lost his mind. And I know a lot of time when black men have that much power and that much financial power, and then he's able to move a nation. He's able to move the culture. So he can really push people to do whatever. You feel me? And he keeps pushing the line to wake us up even more as well. So I'm starting to say, okay, hold on. I think that we really need to get behind them and like we've been hearing, just protect him, because this is usually what happens to great black men who telling us watch them.
Right. You know, and you know, when we look back at history, you know, when you look at Dr. Martin Luther King, you know, you see why he was assassinated. It wasn't because he was out here rallying black people. Right. It's because he started telling white people about how they was being taken advantage of by the government. Right. You know, so whenever you become an influential figure and you start to get out here and you really speaking to the people and the masses and they can't control you, it's a problem.
Right. It's an issue.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nick says, think about it. How did he become a billionaire? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I was out of him. How did he come to millionaire? The man is not a business dummy. I'm not a Kanye fan, but I do believe he pulled the stunt to release himself. Yes, exactly, Nick. Medically, I believe he definitely has. Yes. You know what I mean? He got a little something up there. Yeah, but you know what? Whatever. To be honest with you, I think that was a smart move. I like I said, I don't go with the tactics, but just to kind of get out of the situation that he was in, or whatever, I think because he probably couldn't have no other way. You know what I mean? It kind of stuck the way he had to go about doing it, but I don't think he probably could have any other way. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they locked you in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So and you're making millions and millions of money, a lot of dollars for them, which they still making money off of you, even when you quit. You see what I'm saying? So, so you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the tactics, but I do agree exactly of with him doing what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead with the next one. Shell said distractions. Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot you could see all that, fat boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see everything.
Go to Earl. Earl said that if you don't know history, then he's crazy.
Yep.
If you know history, then protect him. That's what Farrakhan said.
Absolutely.
I agree. Who is really here to help him? Exactly. Who is that? SNKR Vault. Her. Is it Snicker Vault?
Yeah.
Snicker Vault. Oh, okay. I said that before.
Yeah, Sneaker Vault.
That's what's up. All right, we got quite a few. You guys, if you're on Facebook, I see you guys on Facebook Live too. If you guys want to chat, go to YouTube and you can chat with us as well on there. Anything else, man? We got any more on Kanye? Because
man, we're gonna keep it out, but I think that like Wayne said, I think that they just proved his point, right? That they are perpetuating bullshit, and that, excuse my language, but that's what they're doing. They perpetuating BS, and that when he starts to talk the real lingo, that everything else is in jeopardy. So I think not only did he get out of the contract, but I think he made them prove his point, and they did that, right? That. Go ahead.
No. I'm just gonna say, and not only just him, of course, there's others or whatever that's also, you know what I'm saying,
spoke on that as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, but there's others too that's still in that situation, and they
right.
And they're afraid of that, and that's why you have some there feel like, oh, it should be an apology or no, fuck that. It don't need to be no damn apology. It just need to be, it is what it is, and show, you know, and you basically see the facts and the truth, period.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? What am I apologizing for? You know, did I lie about something? You know what I mean? Did what I say, is it true or is it not true? That's what it really comes down to. You know what I mean? Earl said it's hard to be a black, I'm sorry, I'll be getting ahead of it. It's hard to be black and speak truth. And a lot of our people preach togetherness, then run from the opportunity to be front and center together.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Because I feel like, to be honest with you, I do feel like there's more people that's in the higher, you know, hierarchy or whatever that can be black. You know, that's black, that can be like, if you got 2 or 3 people, say for instance Tyler Perry, say for instance Oprah or somebody else, you know how sick it'll be, how sick it will be, and they can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're powerful as well. You know what I'm saying? But going to be, you know, there's going to be consequences in order to do that.
You got these, like Malcolm say,
I'm afraid of, I feel.
You got these, like Malcolm say, these scared Negroes, man. Excuse my language, you know, and we allow a lot of things, like the brother, like Earl said, we preach togetherness, but when it's time to be black, we don't really want to be black. We do it when it's cool. We do it when we want to wear our hair natural. We do it when we want to rock the big booty. You know what I'm saying? But when it's really time to stand behind something real, we're not in that, because we don't want them to cut off our living.
Right.
We don't want them to cut off our living. I think that this new era, you know, it's called quote unquote, you know, African American or American Negro or whatever. He has too many things to give up for revolution or to stand behind anything meaningful, because he has a car note and a new boat he just bought and a house on the lake he has to pay.
Right. That's what I said. It's a lot at stake for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shell said, "Preach, yes. Politics can be deadly. Kanye must be very careful." And that's a lot of things. I think that's the part that I'm afraid of right now too. You know what I'm saying? It's just being another person speaking out, and next thing you know what I'm saying, he was they're gonna blame an illness on him for him to be passing away. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Yeah. I'm scared of that. You know, and we all should be scared of that. You know what I'm saying? And if that happens.
But we know what it is.
We know what it is.
You know, and back to Fat Boy's point about, you know, like, so, you know, I heard this thing about Bill Cosby, and he was talking about, you know, when he had his Cosby show is when he would have been ideal for him to try to buy NBC at that point when he was at his height. He was untouchable, but he had too much to lose. Exactly. And so once he didn't have a Cosby show anymore, and now he's not even thought about. He tries to buy it down. What they do to him, exactly. They railroad him. Exactly. We understand why. Again, it's not like they didn't know these things were going on during that time when he had the Cosby show.
Oh yeah. Right? But you're only getting away with it because we're letting you, because you're making us money. Exactly. Mm-hmm. But when you stop making us money and trying to make it for yourself or whatever, and it takes out of our pocket, then we gotta stop.
Oh, it's a problem.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's a problem. Yeah, that's it. Very valid point. That's what Crown Printing says. Drew said it. Drew said that they say that he made unfound claims that Jewish people hold immeasurable power in media. I just wish that we get more into the specific instead of generalization. Who, what, when, where.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a name. Go look at. I want you all to research it.
I was gonna say
Rupert Murdoch, and we're gonna start there. That is a Jewish man who owns Fox News and Fox Media. They sold the entertainment half to Disney, right? But he owns that. He was just maybe 10, 15 years ago, they got him for basically taking everybody's information so he can manipulate the television. So that's the first place to start.
Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah. Rupert Murdoch. I was gonna say just start looking up your record labels, your entertainment companies, and look whose names who in ownership. Yeah. Look who names on these athletes, the sponsors or what they call the agents.
Look at the names. Sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
They don't need to be general. Just look them up. You can have all day.
Right. Exactly. All right, man. Shoo. Glad we got that off our chest. I needed to get that off my chest. Sometimes, man, I think I'll be wanting to just go on news or go on do a show like as soon as I hear it, get ahead of everybody. But I have to wait till Thursday. Oh man. But anyway. All right, man. But let's get into this next one, man. Emotional intelligence.
Yes, sir.
Bad boy. Yes, what is emotional intelligence?
I'm gonna give you the definition. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up. Okay. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, otherwise known as emotional quotient, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, emphasize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Emotional intelligence helps you build stronger relationships, succeed at school and work, and achieve your career and personal goals. It can also help you to connect with your feelings, turn intentions into actions, and make informed decisions about what matters most to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I want to pick
this. Emotional intelligence.
And I want to pick this. At this point, Phil, I would. Hey, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago,
things going on, dog. Is some things happening?
Yeah, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have told you, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been in denial and I would have been lying to myself. I don't, man, and that's why I brought this topic up today, because I think that it's something that, especially as men, because we don't know how to properly communicate and articulate our emotions, our angers, and our feelings, that is something where we can start at least, right? And learning, understanding what this is, and how to practice it.
Okay. Do me a favor, fat boy. Turn your volume down just a little bit.
I'm loud. Okay.
But everybody, yeah. Someone's saying they're hitting me up saying that it's loud on their phone.
All right, I am.
That's good. All right, wait until they text me back. Don't worry about it. So do you're saying that basically emotionally you're just kind of like all over the place, or do you feel like that you're? I mean, because to me, I mean, we've been knowing each other for a minute. I've seen the growth. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the growth where you have, where I know normally you probably would have went crazy, went off.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Or just don't have a give a fuck attitude. You know what I'm saying? Where you basically start checking yourself. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get to the root and core of the problem that's going on, and try to cipher it out to make sense of it with whoever else, not just for yourself. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And that's what I get from our conversations or whatever. And to me, that's emotional intelligence, because
Right.
sometimes you don't you don't sometimes we don't. I'm not just you. I'm saying sometimes we don't stop and think. We just basically just go. Whatever you feel, this is what I feel. Oh well, fuck you, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? That type of thing or whatever. As opposed to listening and trying to at least come up with a solution, come up with a plan to where it works for the both of you. You see what I'm saying? And without it being emotionally messed up in your life, in your lifestyle, your feelings, and anything like that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't. I mean, I would say you do have the emotional intelligence or whatever.
I have some
as well.
Okay, so let me make it. Let me clarify it then. I think that I have it, but I think I don't use it when I need it. Right? I think that when I really need to exercise emotional intelligence, I be so frazzled that I can't do it.
Right.
I have to learn how to adjust to things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you walk away.
I say, for instance, like my car. When my car went down, I was so like I couldn't even think right. Which is understanding emotional intelligence. Like I needed to be able to breathe and make the right decision after that, but I couldn't, right? Because I was so upset, I was so hurt that I couldn't properly adjust to the situation and do what I needed to do.
Right. Okay. Now, what did you do? Because I mean, of course, you had a situation or whatever. Once you did, like, what did you do to calm yourself, or to, you know what I'm saying, kind of get back into the right space and the right set of mind? Because obviously, you know, so that happened yesterday. Today's today or whatever. So you had to do something, even if it's if you had to talk to somebody, or if you had to, you know, just woosah or whatever. What did you do to get that calmness?
Well, my lady helped me, was talking to me, and I gave her a hard time. But then I think after I get over myself, right? After I get over the pity party,
yeah.
Now I have to take a little accountability. And then it's time for me to adjust. Like, okay, all right, I can do this. I can do this better. I can do that better. I can do this. But I think when it's going through, like, I'm just so hurt, right? And so you know what I mean by the pity party, just like, fuck, like, why me? Why me? You know what I'm saying? Why me? You know what I'm saying? There's an echo.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Am I better?
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Are we good? Can I read this comment from Drew?
Yeah, go ahead.
Drew says you have to be savvy enough to pause, see all perspectives, even if you don't agree, respect every point of view, discuss and proceed. I live this in my personal and business life. That's a good bar.
Okay. Yeah. How come? Well.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I want to tap in. I actually really appreciated just this moment between you and Fat Boy Fuel and Fat Boy. Like, I felt like I was in a therapy session.
Oh, yeah?
Like I was like a fly on the wall in a therapy session between you two for a second. Because I love the questions that you were asking him. You know, you were asking, like, really, you were staying curious about it and not making any judgments, or you know, or putting your opinions and whatnot, and you just kind of like got to talk about your experience. So I really appreciate that, especially talking about emotional intelligence, you know. and you were, I think, describing like emotional reactivity, which most of us are kind of, that's our default,
Right.
emotionally reacting,
Uh-huh.
like being on autopilot, not even having understanding what's going on with us. We're just like in it.
Exactly.
We're deeply in it. And so, anyway, I appreciate this topic. This is one of my favorite topics, talking about emotions. This has like been my lifelong journey to understand my emotions. And, I like to present it as like a practice versus either you have it or you don't, you're intelligent or you're not. Think about it more like a practice. And this is an ongoing lifetime process of like understanding ourselves. The more that we can understand ourselves and how we react emotionally, especially with the difficult emotions, like your car breaking down and all that stuff, the better we can understand other people, and then the better relationships that we can have. And it's just, everybody's so much better. So I really do think like that's the key to better life for everybody is emotional intelligence.
Yes.
In learning ourselves better in that way.
And like you said, I think we all, once we all get the reaction, the first reaction is to just react. I think, you know what I'm saying? And if we actually take that pause or whatever, even now, like for me, just running a business, and trying to constantly try to figure out, okay, well, such and such didn't give me this loan here, or somebody didn't give me this there, or whatever, and I'm up here mad because I'm kind of like, then I start pulling out the race card, well, why? Because I'm a black owned businessman, you know what I'm saying? Instead of thinking and still calming down and be like, what else, what other revenues, what other ways that I could be creative? Because I got creative to do this. There's other ways of creative to have, help keep it. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically, one of the things that I had to, because my first reaction is like, nobody really be around me. I could get upset by myself in here, and nobody's in the building at night when I'm here. So it's kind of like, unless you heard it on the street over there or whatever, be like, what the hell's going on there? And I'd be just cursing, just like cursing myself out, you know what I mean? Until, but I do it by myself. And I do it to where I don't want to bring it on to like Fat Boy or anybody in the crew, you know what I'm saying? That's being there for you, helping out or whatever. I just do it because it helps me just to kind of like chill.
That part right there, that part is a helpful part. You said that, Fat Boy, you mentioned breathing, and I think one of the viewers too said pausing. Like that part, actually, if I can share a little bit, the exhaling is scientifically, like that is what helps us to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system. And so that helps us to like.
Hold on, say that again.
The parasympathetic nervous
system. Parasympathetic. You know how I am with words.
Sorry, nervous system.
Parasympathetic.
Yeah. So it helps us to calm, to calm our body. Because usually we're kind of really like activated, emotionally activated. And so our bodies are activated. And that is a really good way of helping us calm. Because we think the thing, actually before thinking, because you said we don't think first. Before thinking, I think we really need to learn how to feel more. Like, and that's why we go into thinking, because we don't want to feel. Because it's literally the sensations in our bodies that we end up getting overwhelmed with. We're like,
so it's something that we're more trying to avoid.
Trying to push that away, trying to avoid that.
Right.
So the more that we can practice actually just pausing, like that viewer said, pausing for a moment, taking a deep breath, and being there with those physical sensations of our body can help us grow that emotional intelligence more. We're more aware. Like, I think you used to say it a lot too, of like, oh, what does jealousy feel like? And you started to notice when you were feeling jealous, like certain bodily sensations would come up and you're like, I know what this is. About. And then you were able to kind of just like ride that wave versus wanting to get rid of it and call somebody up or go do something or whatever, talk shit, react, whatever the case, So part of that is the emotional intelligence of learning how to be with all of those parts of our experiences.
And what I've learned recently is about body scanning, right? You take a scan of your body when you start to feel those emotions start to come up in you. You start to see what is it doing to your body and what is it showing up in, like, is it feel coming in your chest or your stomach? And once you learn what it's coming up at, you get to know what it is like. And so, I'm barely learning about it myself, so I don't know what it means. I can't remember what it means when you feel in your chest, opposed to when you feel in your gut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, there's different perspectives. I mean, you can different.
I want to get into that,
but I love this topic
because I think that what you guys said was a big thing that I deal with, right? I think that I don't want to feel, right? I think that understanding the feeling, understanding jealousy, understanding my feelings being hurt, understanding disappointment, and that feeling to want to get rid of it. I think you made a great point, Melissa, about just even wanting to get rid of it and not acknowledging it. And I think the issue I have is I don't want to acknowledge it in myself, so I expect my lady to acknowledge it, right? And I think that it makes me push out for certain energy on her, right? That I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But because I don't know how to properly balance it, I'm almost searching for her to give it to me.
Right.
Exactly.
But
And
to
that's
her,
where
it's just
that
frustration.
is where we will make the mistake. Yeah. Yes, because they will see it differently. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I just learned that yesterday. Just learned that today.
You just
learned that today.
I'm glad you learned it, man.
We come up with so many creative ways. I'm telling you, our minds, our bodies come up with so many creative ways to not feel. Whether it's to avoid in some kind of way, run away, or even to pursue, like you were saying, like even that is a way to kind of avoid how we're feeling. We want to put it on somebody else. Like, it's too overwhelming for me. You take it. Take this from me.
Or they use, you use smoking or alcohol or whatever to kind of like get away from,
But to Fat Boy's point, you brought up a very good point, because that's what happens a lot of times in relationships in general, right? Because most of us aren't walking around emotionally intelligent because we just don't understand. We don't even really know what it is, right? And so, and that's why I talk about people being therapized, right? Because if I'm therapized, when I come into a relationship, I already know how to handle my own, right? And I'm not going to put it on you. But a lot of times we get into relationships and we expect our partners to carry these emotions for us and deal with these emotions for us, and which becomes too heavy for anybody, right? Because now not only am I dealing with my own emotions, I'm expected to deal with your emotions as well, which become overwhelming and a lot. And so again, that's why I speak about therapy so much now, because I truly believe in it. I believe that we all need somebody to talk to and just learn how to regulate our own emotions, feelings, and our own reactions. Because now when we go into a relationship, like, I got me, I'm good with me, and if you got you, then we can work together. But if one of us is, and not to say that sometimes we may not have to carry the other person's load, but it's not forever. It's just temporary until they figure it out or whatever. But if it's a constant thing, that can cause a lot of issues within a relationship, and it can make the relationship a lot tougher, in which you see a lot of times relationships fail because some of these things are very prevalent within relationships.
And yes, to actually piggyback what you guys were saying, when you expect your partner to know how you feel, or expect them to say certain things in a way to make you feel better, and it doesn't happen, that causes commotion between you and that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like you said, unless you learn about yourself, and once you get that like therapy within yourself or whatever, then is when you can actually, because you're not now looking for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You already have that. You got yourself, you know what I'm saying? So I follow you exactly on that. I get you.
And at the same time, once you do the work on yourself, you can show up for your partner much better. So then you can say things in a way that can be received better,
relate to it better. Yes,
right. Because you're taking care of yourself, but when we don't do those things and our partner needs something from us, we may be reactive. Because we don't know how to handle it ourselves, and we don't want to deal with those emotions either. Like, you don't want to deal with them, I don't want to deal with them.
Somebody else, right? Exactly. All right, let's get into the comments. We're going to get into a quick commercial too, real quick, and then we're going to get into some more Melissa and Wayne's Shades of Nominati. Marshall pretty soon. You know what I'm saying?
Ignorant asses.
I think it's the Coca-Cola. Hold on, we have the more comments real quick up in the chat. Let's see. I think before we go up there to Crown Printing. Go ahead, Fat Boy.
Oh, it says, I think it's like I tell my son, when his emotions are frazzled, he needs to try to make himself think logically. Feelings will have you all messed up. I agree. It's fucked up.
True.
I was real messed up, y'all. I'm telling you.
I know. I can tell yesterday. I'm gonna tell you in a minute. Huh?
Can I add to that comment?
Go ahead.
So
I'm glad
actually,
you
in
came in.
you don't know what I'm about to say.
I'm sure I do.
Go ahead.
I mean, I have lots of things to say, but I was just going to share a little bit of information. I like to tell my clients this of like, we actually can't even think logically, when we're highly emotional, we're emotionally reactive. Like we're using a different part of our brain. We're in the, survival mode or whatever, fight or flight.
Right.
So I really encourage people to, to do the breathing or to find some kind of way to kind of help regulate. That's part of emotional intelligence, is knowing how to regulate our bodies, knowing how to regulate our emotions.
Right.
So that we can reconnect to the, front parts of our brain where we're actually able to rationalize or think logically or be creative or brainstorm or, things like that. And so I know him and I, we had to really learn how to work together and partner in parenting, especially because Wayne would be so quick to, want to I want to get to the solutions.
Yeah.
And I was kind of way on the other end of the spectrum of like, what his feelings and this and that. So we really had to learn how to get to the middle and work together because, doing either one wasn't helping. Like I was kind of enabling my kids to a certain extent by not doing that second part of like, okay, now we can think about the solutions or whatever. It was just like stuck in feelings and vice versa. So we had to learn how to work together our strengths and, address kind of the emotional aspects first for children. And then once they feel seen and understood and felt and all these things, then we can go into the thinking part of it or taking action part of it or whatnot.
Just the balance. And I think that, again, when we try to, again, we see our kids going through things, and now, especially for young men and boys, we try to get them to avoid their feelings because they make us uncomfortable as the parent. So now, again, you're telling somebody to put those emotions and feelings away, but you can't, and so they just go somewhere, and now you hold them in and manifest into something else, so you definitely have to feel your feelings. You have to deal with them. They don't just leave. Exactly. So those need to be addressed.
It's like I know when people used to tell me, feel you feel me.
What does that mean?
How do you tell
Wayne, explain what that means. Like I get it, right? Theoretically, I understand the idea of it, right? But what does that mean when you're in it? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's the most important time, right? Is when you're in it. Like, what does that mean? And how could you help me understand that?
So again, I like to simplify it back to the body. I like to simplify it back to our emotional experience can be broken down to like the sensations in our bodies that we then end up putting meaning on or judgment. And that's when it becomes this whole like, oh, you're emotional, you're emotional or whatever the case, or we get caught up in not feeling our feelings because we start judging ourselves for what we're experiencing. Or we get afraid. We feel like we're gonna die sometimes, or we're like, oh, why am I feeling this? We start judging ourselves, and so we're not actually able to stay with those feelings in our body. But if we allow, our body kind of knows what to do, but our minds get caught up in it, our egos get caught up in it, our social conditioning gets caught up in it, and so we don't allow that natural process to happen. But if you allow yourself to kind of the sensations in your body, usually within 20 minutes, you should be able to ride that emotional wave through. And when you get really good, it can be even down to 5 minutes. But like it'll just happen on its own. The shift will kind of happen on its own. But from really young, our natural process has kind of been disrupted, by so many different reasons, so many different things. And so we don't know how to, we struggle to let that natural process happen.
Yeah. And also to add to that, a lot of times, the feelings, these emotional feelings that you feel are repetitive, right? And so once you understand what an emotion is and it comes up again, you know it. And you can recognize, you can name it, and now you know what to do with it. Because okay, I know what this is. This is hurt. So I know I was hurt. And so now you can articulate that you were hurt by somebody else, instead of, because a lot of times hurt is disguised by anger.
True.
Right. And so now I could be like, okay, well, you hurt me, or I can, I can tell you what you did to me and we can have a conversation about it,
Right.
Because if I don't, then I'm going to be reactive.
Yeah, as opposed to being angry about it and then coming out lashing at something that you really haven't even thought, that can't think about, you know what I'm saying, or didn't think about, Andrew, Drew said that we have to understand that emotion comes in different forms. Yeah. She's right on it. It comes in different forms. For example, I get accused of not caring because my reactions could be silence. I still have emotion. I'm just processing and analyzing. Okay,
Fish.
That is accused of not caring because my actions could be silence, and that's how some people deal with it. Is they feel like, and that's what other people have to understand too. And sometimes people feel like that they can, if they sit aside and just be silent, I'm taking it in to analyze this so I could come back in a better way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not just a reaction. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing or whatever. So yeah, Drew, that's a good point, man. Body scanning, interesting. Oh, she was saying to Drew, I think. Body scanning, interesting. It gave me something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I think that's a good thing.
And Drew understand. She said she understands. She was talking to Drew on that. We got Marshall's in the house. Yeah, Marshall. You just want to hear your name.
Marshall's so ignorant, man.
It's about woohoo. I came in late, but I think I recognized them. That's the swingers.
He ignorant, bro. Something wrong with him.
He got problems, man.
Something wrong with him.
He said, "Fat boy, you need a cold shower." He said, "You need a cold shower, fat boy."
Fat boy need a cold shower.
All right, man. So we're gonna get into more. Yeah, we're gonna get into more shades of monogamy, man. When we come back after these messages. Fired Up Broadcasting, the place to be for your video recording and voiceover needs. Want to be a podcaster? You can rent this beautiful studio space for a low and reasonable price. We have dynamic lighting to set the tone, on-site engineer, fully equipped with top-of-the-line quality video recording, and more. So make your appointment now by emailing firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. See you soon. Yeah, and we're back. But my one and my only commercial that I've been paying for a month now. Can we get some sponsorships? Can we get some help here? Anyway, what'd you say, Doc?
Can we get some sponsors, man? I might be sponsoring this next month, man.
Know,
Don't even worry about it.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Yeah.
Hey, man. So, as you guys may or may not know, we got some.
We got a new addition to the family.
Very, very, very well. See, man, you gave it all out already.
You was about to do it. Okay, go ahead.
No. That's okay. It's all good. But one of the reasons that we have, of course, you guys, Wayne and Melissa here for part 2, because we're actually working on a project that's coming pretty soon that you guys are going to love and be able to tune into on Tuesdays. I'm not going to say too much more until we get it all, together or whatever, but expect, some real serious, good relationship topics, conversations, and just like as we're talking about now, the emotional intelligence, you know what I mean? Because they have, between the both of them, these guys have a lot of knowledge, a lot of things that basically can teach and learn when it comes to not just the relationships, but also, your personal, situations like emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? So, guys, once again, let's welcome Melissa and Wayne. LaSane. LaSane, y'all. I know, right? I know y'all seen them all show already, you know what I'm saying? But I still had the intro.
I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited for y'all to bless the people. sorry, Phil, I gotta cut you off real quick,
Bless the
but
people.
I'm
Yes.
gonna see.
I see you already did.
To bless the people
Go ahead.
with your knowledge on emotions and relationships, and I think especially for our culture, right? I think that there's a neglect for it, right? There's a void in that space, and you guys are unconventional. You guys are authentic, and I think that it's going to be a great attribution to what we do here. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm excited. I'm excited to be a guest. I'm excited to help produce and go in with you guys. I'm excited because I know that you guys are going to give some real game and game to young men like myself who need to understand the importance of emotional intelligence, like Melissa said, or understand the importance of being therapized, like Wayne said. I think even just those words and that terminology, understand those terminology, right? I think you just open up a whole other stratosphere. So I'm excited. And welcome.
And once again, too, you know, once again, too, it's also with Wayne, you know, teaching us male, you know, because you know, and bringing us and welcoming us males in a conversation that's really needed, that we sometimes afraid of. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're afraid to talk about it, or don't have anyone to talk to about, you know, a relationship, especially about monogamy, non-monogamy, all that. You know what I'm saying? That can open up a better life for certain people. You know what I'm saying? Without feeling like closed in or feeling like, oh, I can't talk about this. Oh, you know, this is a secret. You know what I'm saying? And this is, you know, it's like being, you know, like a gay person being in a closet. You know what I'm saying? You're in a closet or whatever, and you can't be who you are. You know, and with what you guys bring in is a thing of letting people be who they are. You know what I'm saying? And not feel ashamed about it or whatever, and be successful and be happy. You
and
know
embrace it.
As you guys as a couple is an example of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing it'd be one thing if we had y'all separate, you know what I'm saying, and it was they ain't really together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And we was doing something, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know, have you guys here and doing what you have been doing or whatever. So kudos to that, man. I'm looking forward, and so let's get into it, man. So what have y'all been up to lately? We see let's talk to the new addition of the family.
Yeah, we've been having babies. Yeah, I was pregnant the last time.
It seemed like it went so fast.
It did go so fast. It went by so fast. So.
Now, did you have her early or?
3 weeks early.
Yeah,
it was 3 weeks
from
early.
the due date. 3 weeks, but you know, still.
Still mature. Absolutely healthy.
And it's been a lot of new energy in the household. A lot of adjustments, getting used to, but we're really excited to have her in the house, and
that's what's up.
Yeah, it's been good. So it's been really nice to just be with the family. Like, I'm enjoying it so much.
Yeah,
the small things in life. I'm really like soaking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely changed the dynamics in the house. You know, 'cause she's 2 weeks this week, but the boys now, I see the interaction between them is different now. They, you know, just in how they are and how they are with her. Yeah. So you know, it makes me feel good just to see them. Yeah. You know, and
congratulations,
you know,
man. Yeah. I mean, you know, I ain't having no more kids, but you know,
congratulations, man. For real.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here too because you know I really just want to inspire people, like you said, for them to be them. You know, and that's what I'm trying to figure out in life too. Is how to be more me, whatever that means too. That's another one.
That's another
like when people say be you, like what does that mean? Like how do you just be you? You know. Yeah. But there is something about that though that I think we all. Like it resonates, you know, with us of like, yeah, be you. There's this desire for us to just like be us, whatever that is.
Right.
And yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying you need to be swingers or even non-monogamous or anything like that. Right. But really just to tap into, you know, like what brings me joy, and relationships bring me joy. Connections with people bring me joy. And so I want to share that as best as I can.
Who's that? Octopus Orange? Octopus Orange said congratulations.
Thank you.
Who's Octopus Orange? I ain't never seen.
That's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for joining.
So let's what you say, bad boy?
I said thank him. I was telling Octopus Orange, thank you for joining.
Oh, okay. Let's get into like some of the things that we're going to be talking about for your shows. I mean, because there's a lot of different relationships or different titles for relationships or whatever. Let the people know what you guys are going to be, getting more into once y'all, do y'all.
Well, I'll start off first. So for me, like I've come to a place to where I've realized that I want to try to help, for one, with healing, with just people in general, right? Within ourselves and everything. I also want to, help inspire thought, give, let people know all the different options that they have. And one thing I feel about what you were talking about men earlier is that I feel like men, we become so, and I understand why, I truly do, but we become so hardened that we don't even show each other affection anymore. Nothing's wrong with a hug. You know what I mean? And I think that we deny ourselves these things because hugs are so healing, right? Like for instance, I play in a entertainment flag football league. Right. We always greet each other with hugs when we show up, and we have a brotherhood, and we enjoy being out there with one another, and we enjoy each other's company and conversations. And I think that there's not enough of that anymore. I think that we've gotten away from it because because it's not masculine enough to show affection. And when I say affection, I mean a hug to my brother. I love you. Right. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think that we don't do that enough. So as men.
Okay, I got a question. Because the younger generation does this. From I've just learned. Matter of fact, one of the guys in our crew, younger guy, and they do this what they call bro love, I guess that's what it's called. I've never really bromance. Was it bromance? That's what they call. Is that what they call it? Where they actually real kiss each other.
Oh no, that's a little too much.
They say don't. But that's what I'm saying. They say it doesn't mean anything. It's just bro. Now when we grew up, you know what I'm saying, we played football, we slap each other on the ass or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Which could be which our uncles our uncles probably at the time could have been like, what kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I mean? So when it comes to because sometimes, like you said, for us, for guys or whatever, there are generations that comes up and with all the different titles of lesbian, gay, and all this stuff, with all these titles or whatever. Do you feel like that the masculinity part is being more pulled away, so to speak?
So I know this is a touchy subject for a lot of people. Right. So what I believe is that whenever the system basically at one point unbalanced, it's really heavy on masculinity, right? We can all understand and know that how we show up in society, right? So there's always going to be an equal push on the other side. So it's all about balance. So we just got to figure out where's the middle to this at, because right now it's like this. It's teetering, right? But we need to come to the middle to where it's balanced. So we got to figure that out together. So it's not that I understand the push and I understand the pull, but we just got to figure it out in the middle somewhere.
And how would you I want to sound like somebody that's in therapy and shit. Okay, so how would that come across? Say for instance, like I said, the younger or whatever, and people will look at that person as being gay, but they're not gay. You know what I mean? How would you explain that to them as to being themselves?
Right. So again, I wouldn't know.
Did that make sense?
Yeah. I wouldn't.
I'd like you to rephrase that. How would you explain? Say it again. No.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, to me, I think they're being themselves, or whatever, but they're being categorized as being gay. You know what I'm saying, or bi. You know what I mean. But how do you explain that to that person when they're actually coming to you and ask you, well, does this make me gay? Did this make me this way? Or does this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would ask them, what are their intentions? What do they mean?
What's his intention behind kissing another
brother? What does that mean for you? Right. What does that mean to you? And so, And once they can articulate that to me, then now I can understand why they do the things they do. We can have a conversation about it. But I don't. But if I just made an assumption because what I see, then I'm probably going to be inaccurate on what I'm trying to assess.
Right.
You know. So. Yeah.
So I'll speak a little bit just because this is like I feel like there's so many better people to speak on gender and sexuality and things like that. There's so many great educators out there. But just a couple of things I do want to say. Like, I know often we confuse femininity, masculinity with gender, with like male and female and men and women, and those are different things.
Totally
and again, I think there's so many better people who. Oh, thank you.
I see your foot up. I was. Put
Oh,
it up a little more.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Mama wanted to be comfortable. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I won't go into it too much because I think there's better people to explain it, but just maybe encourage people to look that up for themselves.
Yeah.
Let's not get that confused of masculinity and femininity and gender, and it was like completely different things.
Right.
And then again, the other thing, like Wayne was kind of saying, is like, regardless however somebody's gonna view you or not view you or whatever the case is, it's really just encouraging people to just again tune into yourself,
right?
And of course, yes, there's going to be people who see it differently. There's going to be people who see it the same way. I think there's a lot of advantages to labels and to names and things like that, and then also sometimes they're very limiting. So both, like, again, finding that balance for you. What does it mean for you? I think there's a lot that we benefit from, like in a label. It's like, oh wow, so that's I'm not alone. Like, whoa, that's what that means. Like, wow, okay, I've been feeling like that too, and that's really helpful. And then sometimes it's like it's not helpful because it limits us. So I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it.
Yeah. No, because we don't get deep in. We don't get deep on y'all show.
I think there's better people who can talk about this.
And that's the people that I'm sure, like you said, but that's one of the things, I think those are the type of questions that will occur.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what you guys, that's why I kind of wanted to show the people to these are the people you can go to get that information that's needed. Right. Even though, like I said, like we never, call ourselves the experts of anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we can lead you to certain others that are experts at it. You know what I'm saying? And get you going.
That's great. And I love to tell people too that I work with is like, you are the expert of you and you are the expert of your relationship. I'm here to kind of help. Use me in any way that you can, because all I'm going to do is just help you get back to yourself. Right. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm good at, is I'm like asking you curious questions on what does it mean to you, and just helping you find the answers for yourself. Really.
Cool.
I think that's a huge question for someone who's trying to navigate their emotions on anything, right? What does this certain situation mean to you? What does your femininity mean to you? What does your masculinity mean to you? And I think that for one, when people start to address those things, we'll start to that we think are what society feels we should be. And I think that once you pose that question, it makes that person have to actually think, what does these things mean to them? And I think that you made a great point with understanding sexuality and gender and all of these things that I think have been so merged together that we think that they're the same and they're totally different. And once again, this is the reason why you guys are great, because you pose those questions and you identify those things, because I think those type of mistakes are made often, right? We confuse gender and we confuse, masculinity and femininity, and only men feel this and only women feel this, and we're totally ignorant to the fact that has nothing to do with the other. It contributes to each of the other, but it's not solely counting on that. So I think that's a great question to pose. That's a great question to pose.
Yes. Victor said, congratulations, God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Looking forward to my hug from Fuel and Fat Boy. Stupid.
Are you ignorant, y'all?
Stupid, man. I know. I totally agree, young brother. Hugging is healing. Yes.
That's pop.
Go ahead. Next one.
I count myself blessed. I've always hugged my bros and tell them I love them. God is love. How I was raised. has nothing to do with sexuality for me. I agree.
Sexuality.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
and
always
that's how I am, especially with my best friends. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just love. You know what I mean? And it's not mistaken for anything else. But when someone do question it, is like Wayne was saying or whatever. What does it mean to you? You know what I mean? And that's where you got to be in touch about yourself and what you got, going on and stuff. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. The ability to express. Ability to express unconditional love without concern of others' judgment has been my personal goal. Octopus Orb. Yes, that's what's up. That's what's up. Victor said it. Go ahead, Fat Boy.
We have to learn to separate being affectionate to our brother with being sexual with our brother. Absolutely.
Exactly.
There's a big difference.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you want to have some like real life tangible experience with that, there's such things as called cuddle parties. Go look it up.
Hold on. What is it called?
Cuddle parties.
Cuddle
I
parties.
always talk about this.
Cuddle parties.
See, man, y'all done brought some new shit.
I love talking about cuddle parties.
Hold up.
Yes.
They got cuddle parties.
Cuddle parties, cuddle events, cuddle experiences. Yes. Go, and it talks about platonic touch, platonic and all the benefits of platonic touch, and talks a lot about, you can learn about consent as well too, but just also the benefits of platonic touch, and how a lot of us are like touch starved, and we limit touching to like in relationship, like being in a romantic or sexual relationship, or family, and then like outside of that, it's kind of like hit or miss. You maybe get some touch in your life or maybe not, and we sexualize touch as well. Often
you see me looking confused over here,
right?
Cuddle parties are non-sexual.
That's what I was going to say though. If it's a party that's non-sexual, can it get heated like that though?
So
you know what I mean?
They understand
that
we're
go with
human,
the mindset
and
of not.
Well, we understand that we're human and things can happen. Like we can get aroused, of course, especially for us that we're commonly taught that like how to sexualize touch, that we're sexualized touch. So, but the thing is, like, we just allow that to be, So they invite you to take a break, go to the restroom, stand up, adjust yourself, whatever the case, bring it back. So it's not saying don't. It's hard to, you can't completely separate yourself, from your sexual self, but that's not the focus. That's not the intention.
Yeah.
And so
that was
Listen, I can speak so much about it, but
okay, well, we get into what you say, Fat Boy.
I like that. That's and like, look,
so you just go and they have a whole like hour orientation on consent, how to ask and ask and receive, say no, say yes, things like that, boundaries, learning about boundaries and things like that, and then they show you some like ways that you can touch and cuddle with people, and then you go out and you actually just it's an experience. It's challenging. I'm not saying it's easy, but then you go out and you just cuddle with people, with some strangers if you want to, bring a crew if you want to. I'm telling you, it's an experience that everybody has to experience.
Now, do you feel? oh man, I'm learning a whole lot. But do you feel like would people come in as a couple to do that as well, or?
You can come as a couple. You can come by yourself.
Well, not. I'm talking about like as a couple to
cuddle separately.
With someone else.
We went to an event and cuddled separately.
Yeah, some badasses, but not.
so listen. That was my first time going as well, and I was apprehensive. I had all kind of anxiety and thoughts, and because first of all, I understand, like I didn't want to go. Yeah. She was like, "Hey, we should," but again, if this is what we want to do and want to help people and teach people and show people different.
I was just
ideas
curious initially. First, I was like, I want to go.
I recognize that we have to go to things that we may be uncomfortable with, right? Yeah. And so I agreed to go, and so when I got there, I had all kind of anxiety, right? And I was like, oh my gosh! And I started looking around. I was like, man, these are not the people that I want to cuddle with, But I had to get that out of my head because I was like, I'm going there like, okay, is there anybody I want to cuddle with?
Right.
But it's not that.
Which us as male will do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And women too. I was going in there, scanning the room as well.
Oh, okay. Well, see, we don't know. We can't. It's different for y'all because y'all two y'all laid back with y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all, but us, you could tell. Like, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But once I realized it wasn't that kind of party, right? I was like, okay, so what do I do? And so it's cool because they, first time they give you like 10 minutes, it's kind of like socialize with everybody. You just go around talking, whatever, and then they set another block time aside to cuddle for 15 minutes, and it's whatever. And so I'd never done this. This woman, she's like, hey, you want to cuddle? I said, I've never done this before. I don't even know what to do. So she said, let's do this. They got names, first of all, for cuddle position.
Yeah.
She said, did you want to do a sitting spoon? I was like, what is a sitting spoon? Yeah, right. Okay. So it's basically when I sit my back against the wall and she sits in front of me and I put my kind of hands around her. And first of all, I was hella uncomfortable. So I'm like kind of apprehensive how to hold her or whatever. And I was like, and so another thing is like, man, and I'm going to go off and I'm going to come back. In whatever they want to call it, swing world, polyamorous world, whatever, whatever, man, let me tell you, one thing is there are a lot of people who are in shape, right, because people want to be desirable, right? And so I don't care, you could be 60 years old and you be like, damn, like let me keep my shirt on today. Like at the pool, like I'm not taking my shirt off because and so when I put my arms on, I was like, oh my God, and she was an older woman. I was like, wow, I feel like I need to do some crunches. Like, she got abs and steel. Like, man. Right? I was like, so I started feeling uncomfortable. I was like, oh, okay, I hope she can lean on me to feel my little stuff, whatever. Right? And so, right. And so, but then after that, they broke it up again, and I went somewhere else, and I was like, man, and it's so crazy because they tell you, they say, look, don't misunderstand, the affection that you may get as love or connection or whatever.
Somebody wants to see you.
Right. Because I kind of fell into that. Right. And so because they had an area that you sit in that if you are afraid to talk to people can come talk to you and come get you to actually cut up. You got another area where if you don't want to be bothered by anybody, you just want to stay off to yourself, you had an area, right? So, I saw Melissa and two other people, and it's like it was like a koala. It was a tree and two koalas, right? That's what it was called, right? The guy was a tree and they were the two koalas. They were like on the side of it, right? Again, yeah. Okay. Right. And so the one girl who I had saw early, and I was like, oh man, I would love to just, for whatever reason, cuddle her. Right. And I you were attracted to her. Yes, I was attracted. Okay. Right. And so they were like, if one person in the group says no, then if you ask, can you? Because it's for consent. Yeah,
everybody has to consent.
Right. And so I was like, man, there's no way he's going to say yes.
Right.
So I go over there and I asked, and he was like, yeah. And then Melissa's like, yeah. And then the girl was like, she was so welcome. She's like, yes. And she was like, and I was like, oh my God. So I felt like I floated in, right. And she but she's a healer, right? Naturally who she is, right? She even said, but she didn't say it at that moment. I didn't know. So she's like massaging me and like rubbing me and looking in my eyes. So I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I think we have a connection here. I think we're in love. No. Right. Right. And so afterwards, I'm like, trying to, like, hey, she's like, no, I'm good. I can walk myself. I was like, oh man, I thought we had there was no connection at all.
You had to bring yourself down.
Had to bring myself back. But it was an amazing experience, Yes. It's definitely, but again, we would love to create spaces for people of color because this was not that, right. So again, it made me have a lot of anxiety going in already, and so, but it was I'll tell people like, man, like the experience I had in the feeling I had when I walked away, I felt really good, and I felt because again, touch is healing, right, and so I felt seen and I felt cared for. I felt good when I left. I didn't have any negative energy on me or whatever. And it just felt like and it was non-sexual. So again, I let all that go. And it was like, wow, this was a great experience. I'm glad I got the experience. I'm glad I came,
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I can do that. I know, but like you said, I don't know. I might have to practice or something because I mean, like you said, though, even though you didn't go in there with that mindset, you still got to feel like you got that connection or whatever, and to kind of have to let that go.
Yeah.
But you don't just have to let it go, and you don't have to just go in there avoidant of it either. That's the beautiful thing about this experience, is that they openly talk about it.
Okay.
You know, and then it's like, yeah, it's human. It's human to feel that. And then also, like, we don't always have to take action on it either. We can just enjoy it for what it is. And so it does take practice.
Do they talk while you hugging, or do they just kind of like
can talk,
everybody just quiet?
Whatever. You can talk or not talk. And if that's too intimidating, they got, you know, cuddle professionals that you can hire, like a personal one-on-one cuddle professional to come, you know, cuddle you, show you how. So many reasons. There's so many reasons why people would do it. I mean, some people who have had maybe have a history of sexual trauma or something like that, that can be a really great way for people to, you know, kind of reclaim their sexuality or get back into open, you know,
just to feel safe.
That's true.
With another person.
That's true.
Another person. Yeah. Some people, you know, I am an affectionate person, and I'm not at the same time. Like, I'm comfortable with the person I am, but then sometimes I can be kind of guarded. And so for me, it was a challenge to learn how to open myself up to you know, want to cuddle, to touch people and be touched. And I don't know. There's so many. I can talk so much.
Oh yeah. Y'all see, y'all learning something.
I think that's dope.
Go ahead, Fat Boy.
I think a lot of times, like you guys said, I think that we once again we confuse touch with sex so much that it's uncomfortable for a person we don't know to actually touch us. But then I think what I hear from you guys is, once you really go through it, you realize how much you were touch starved, like you said. And also, I think also understand
the appreciation
without sex,
behind it all.
I think that's a big part of that, right? And learning and understanding touch, and because I think that a lot of people in relationships, they don't know how to be intimate outside of sex, and I think a big part of that is understanding touch, right? Wouldn't that be a big part of that?
Yeah, that's the key word there, is intimacy. You know, I think a lot of us lack that connection and that understanding of a more expanded idea of intimacy.
Exactly.
That's what I like about you guys, because y'all bring that maturity to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more to think about. You know, it's a lot more to feel about, you know what I'm saying, than just, you know, physical. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot more. And to have you guys bless us on our show, and to be getting ready to do, you know, your own things too here, man, is like, you know, I'm telling you that I mean, at first, you know how you hear things or whatever from, you know, couples or swingers and all that, and all the, not so much a negative thing, because some people are into it and they love it, whatever. So it's not so much as a negative, but it's just kind of like, that's what they do. You know what I mean? As opposed to the emotional, the intelligence, the in touchness of yourself that you learn from just not doing, just swinging. You know, it's just not just a thing. You know what I mean? It's more and stuff to it. Just like this color thing that I just learned of, that I will try. Give me the address at the end of it. But anyway, but you know what I'm saying? And other
we're going to try it, Phil.
Ladies, if you guys. Yeah. No, you can't go, man.
I'm going now.
But for the ladies that are out there sometimes, and there's something, now y'all learned that there's something out there to where, say, for instance, even when you have, you know, like I said, when you have a child or something, or, you know, you don't feel desirable no more or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You want to get back in touch in your feelings and in your, you know, emotions and love and caring and stuff like that, whatever. I think this would be a good thing. This would be a good thing for you.
Men too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, especially me with my what they call it, a dad bod now. With my dad bod or whatever, I probably been doing like way shit, like you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's what's
don't
up.
get it twisted. I mean, you know, like you use the word maturity, and I do welcome that. You know, we have a great time, we have fun too. I think we're able to because, well, actually, I'll say the best times that I have is when they are more intentional, when they are, you know, when we're seeing all the parts of it or whatnot, you know, versus, kind of going through the motions of it, like I did in my early 20s. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was fun, it was a great time, but like, it's just so much more. I could just appreciate so much more these days.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when I open myself up to all the different parts of an experience.
Right. Exactly. Oh, we missing the comments here. I totally agree, Run Brother Huggy. Oh, that's the next one after that. I count myself blessed. Go ahead, Andrew. Oh, yeah, right there. He said, I count myself blessed. I've always helped my brothers and tell them I love. Oh, you already read that. My bad. Did I miss him something? The military
Crown Printing.
Victor right there. Oh, okay. Did we did this one, Victor?
Did we lose the viewers on the cuddle party?
Oh, no. We still got them there. I totally get the need for platonic touch. It's so hard to get without someone sexualizing it. Yes, Crown.
Lisa Larson. She said one of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is love and belonging, to have a sense of connection.
That's true. Exactly. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for tapping in, babe. Appreciate you.
Larson dropping some philosophical.
I know, right? Just come in and just let me drop this on. Take that. All right, guys. Cool, man. Right. All right. So we do have a dear brother, dear sister coming. For you guys. And interesting question. We're gonna get everybody's opinion on this or whatever. So this right here, you guys, is dear brother, dear sisters. Go ahead and explain. You know how you do, fat boy.
Oh man, y'all know this is my favorite time of the show. So if y'all have a dear brother, dear sister, make sure you send a audio clip no longer than a minute to firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. That's firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. And I'm waiting on y'all now. Come on now. Don't make me come get y'all for our dear brother.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Hope y'all can hear it. Let me know if y'all can't hear it.
Do y'all really like the BBL, the Brazilian butt and lips, and why?
Could you hear that, fat boy?
I did. It says, do we like BBLs, the Brazilian butt lift, and why?
And why?
And why?
Play it again for the audience. So I want to hear it one more time so they can hear
Uno más for the viewers.
Do y'all really like the BBL, the Brazilian butt and lips, and why?
You want to take this one first, or do you want me
to answer the question for you? I'm not a big fan of the fake booty. I like natural black women. I believe that the arch of a black woman's back is all she needs. So I ain't really into the BBLs. I think that's the new kind of dude.
That's the what?
I think that's the new dude. You know, these new guys need women with BBLs and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
You like a BBL? Go ahead and let him know.
It's nothing. No, you know what? I whatever, man. It's hard. It's hard.
Look at him. He don't even want to say. Just say you like the BBLs. That's okay.
I mean, I like some. No, I want to say I like some, but not all. I like it when it's done right. You know, do you feel me? You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I see it on
like
Instagram.
There's some that's just kind of like there's some that's just not attractive to me. You know what I'm saying? To where they do too much. You know what I mean? I do have a little concern about if I was with someone that has that and it goes away or it forms into something different, like some people say, like they do. They say that it drops. You know what I'm saying? Or it'll they said it gets hard like concrete or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They said it's very, you know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it's attractive. I mean, of course, sometimes on the right person, if it's done right. But what I don't know.
Hey, Phil don't want to
I
talk
don't really
about
laugh
your
at it, but
BBLs. He trying to find him. Just maybe the next one might have a BBL, so he don't want to cut her all the way out all the way. So he's just trying to say, make sure your BBL together. You'll say he don't do cement booties. He don't do cement booties.
No. This is the thing, though. If it's if it's something that basically it makes her feel good and it looks good for her, you know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. But to me, it's like I would have to be really attracted to it. It can't just be just because she got a BBL, you know what I'm saying? And her booty's on her back, you know what I'm saying? And it just don't look right, you know, the shape, it just don't look right or whatever, you know. And that's the same way I feel about, you know, women that get the Botox or inject their lips and their lips just don't look right. They just, you know, but if you got it in your face and you got it looking right or whatever, so be it. You know what I mean? It's all good. But when you got it just looking like I don't know what, you know, because women do things, and men do things that enhance their looks. You know what I'm saying? Enhance their bodies or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean? So it's a toss up for me. What you guys think?
Hey, that's the most on the fence answer I've heard all week. That man he know he like them BBLs. He just don't like your stiff booty BBL ladies. He didn't want to say it. Phil didn't know how to tell y'all.
I said that.
He like the BBLs.
I don't like it if it ain't right. Y'all got anything?
I'm more of I'm like Fat Boy. I'm a natural guy. Yeah. You know, we live in this microwave popcorn generation.
Yeah.
Instant gratification. You know, like
True.
Go to gym.
Yeah.
You know, work. You know, that way, because what happens when you get older?
Yeah.
Like you worried about today, but in 10 years from now, you know, like what? Then what?
Oh,
you coming with that GMO booty?
As somebody with a B cup booty,
a B cup booty.
I encourage everybody to go do what you got to do to feel good and look good and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm curious of what they feel like though. I'm curious what it feels like. I think for me that would be the biggest thing. What does it feel like?
Do you feel uncomfortable? You feel like you're sitting on something weird, like, you know what I mean? Because it's not natural. You know what I mean?
I heard it's different depending on what they inject inside, right? I think that if they get the fat,
the material that they
put it in their behind is if it feels real. But then I heard if they put like the silicone and the other stuff in there, it don't have no jiggle to it. That's what I heard.
Right.
That's what the streets say.
Yeah. I'm assuming the more money you spend, the better.
The more jiggle your booty got. For sure.
I knew somebody. I knew somebody who would get it their breast injected with fat, but again, it goes away after a while.
Yeah,
you know, so they have to constantly do it. You know, so
Okay. All right. Well, caller,
from the GMO booties, lady.
That's our dear brother, dear sister segment, man. And once again, man, it's been a great show, man. Fat Boy out there. Where you at, Fat Boy?
I'm in Paris, y'all. California, not France. Not France, Florida.
Paris. They out in the boonies. You out in the boonies. Dude, ain't there cows out there?
It's all kind of shit out there.
Animals?
Cows, horses, Trump supporters.
Coyotes.
I seen donkeys go across.
Rattlesnakes.
No, I seen a donkey road cross when I was out there. You know, I've been doing Uber and I seen a donkey road cross, right? And I'm thinking, ain't no donkeys out here. And sure enough, a whole herd of donkeys start going across the world. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Donkeys in California just roaming around. Kind of shit. Anyway. All right, man. Well, thanks again for Melissa and Wayne for joining us today, you guys. And you're going to see more. We got a part 3 that's going to be coming before we get this their live show going or whatever. So be looking forward for that. Be looking and tune in, of course, for that show as well. We will see you guys next week. Same bad time, same back channel. And remember,
if they talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Look at this guy.
Practice again.
Look at this guy. You look and feel.
No, dude, you took you paused, so I couldn't do it. Anyway, but that's gonna do it for us, guys. We appreciate you guys, and see y'all next week.
I love
y'all. Same back time, same back channel.
Peace.
Peace.